Alright, so we have Joshua chapter 11 from the Holy Bible. Okay, so Northern Confederacy. When Yabin, king of Hazor, learned of this, he sent a message to Joab, king of Madon, to king of Shimron, to the king of Ashaph, and to the northern kings in the mountain regions and in the Arabah near Shinar. In the Shephelah and in the Naphath door to the west. These were Canaanites to the east and west, Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Jebusites in the mountain regions, and Hivites at the foot of Hermon in the land of Mizpah. These came out with all their troops, an army numerous as the sands on the seashore, and with a multitude of horses and chariots. All of these kings made a pact, and together they marched to the waters of Merom, where they encamped a fight against Israel. The Lord said to Joshua, "Do not fear them, for by this time tomorrow I will present them slain to Israel. You must hamstring their horses and burn their chariots." Joshua with his whole army came upon them suddenly at the waters of Merom and fell upon them. The Lord delivered them into the power of the Israelites, who defeated them and pursued them to the greater Sidon, to Misrephoth Maim, and eastward to the valley of Mizpeh. They struck them all down, leaving no survivors. Joshua did to them as the Lord had commanded. He hamstrung their horses and burned their chariots. Conquest of northern Canaan. At that time Joshua, turning back, captured Hazor and struck down its king with the sword. For Hazor formerly was the chief of all those kingdoms. He also struck down with the sword every person there carrying out the ban, till none was left alive. Hazor itself he burned. All the cities of those kings and the kings themselves Joshua captured and put to the sword, carrying out the ban on them, as Moses the servant of the Lord had commanded. However, Israel did not destroy by fire any of the cities built on their mounds, except Hazor, which Joshua burned. All the spoil and livestock of these cities the Israelites took as plunder. But the people they put to the sword until they had destroyed the last of them, leaving none alive, as the Lord had commanded his servant Moses. So Moses commanded Joshua, and Joshua acted accordingly. He left nothing undone that the Lord had commanded Moses should be done. Survey to the conquest. So Joshua took all this land, the mountain regions, the entire Negeb, all the land of Goshen, the Shephelah, the Arabah, as well as the mountain regions and the Shephelah of Israel, from Mount Balak that rises toward Seir, as far as Baal Gad, in the Lebanon valley, in the foot of Mount Hermon. All their kings he captured and put to death. Joshua waged war against all these kings for a long time, with the exception of the Hivites, who lived in Gibeon. No city made peace with the Israelites. All were taken in battle. For it was the Lord's doing to make their hearts obstinate to meet Israel in battle, that they might be put under the ban without mercy. And he destroyed as the Lord had commanded Moses. At that time Joshua penetrated the mountain regions and exterminated the Anakim in Hebron, Debir, Anab, the entire mountain region of Judah, and the entire mountain region of Israel. Joshua put them and their cities under the ban, so that no Anakim were left in the land of the Israelites. However, some survived in Gaza, in Gath, and in Ashdod. Thus Joshua took the whole land, just as the Lord had said to Moses. Joshua gave it to Israel as their heritage, apportioning it among the tribes, and the land had rest from war. List of conquered kings. These are the kings of the land whom the Israelites conquered, and whose lands they occupied east of the Jordan, from the river Arnon to Mount Hermon, including all the eastern section of the Arabah. First, Sihon, king of the Amorites, who lived in Heshbon. His domain extended from Aroer, which is on the bank of the Wadi Ammon, to include the Wadi itself, and the land northward through half of Gilead to the Wadi Jabbok, at the border with the Ammonites, as well as the Arabah from the eastern side of the Sea of Shinneroth as far as the eastern side of the Salt Sea of the Arabah in the direction of Beth Jeshimoth, southward under the slopes of Pisgah. Secondly, the border of Og, king of Bashan, a survivor of the Rephaim, who lived at Ashtaroth and Edrei. He ruled over Mount Hermon, Salika, and all of Bashan. Sorry, one of my hairs is in my face. And Bashan, and all of Bashan as far as the boundary of the Jeshurites and Maacathites, and over half of Gilead as far as the territory of Sihon, king of Heshbon. It was Moses, the servant of the Lord, and the Israelites who conquered them. Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave possession of their land to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. This is a list of the kings of the land whom Joshua and the Israelites conquered west of the Jordan, from Baal-Gad in the Lebanon valley to Mount Halak, which rises towards Seir. Joshua apportioned their land and gave possession of it to the tribes of Israel. It included the mountain regions and Shephelah, the Arabah, the slopes, the wilderness, and the Jeb, belonging to the Hittites, Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. The king of Jericho won the king of Ai, which is near Bethel, won. The king of Jerusalem won. The king of Hebron won. The king of Jarmuth won. The king of Lachish won. The king of Eglon won. The king of Jazer won. The king of Debir won. The king of Jeder won. The king of Hormah won. The king of Arad won. The king of Libnah won. The king of Adullam won. The king of Makkedah won. The king of Bethel won. The king of Taphuah won. The king of Hepher won. The king of Aphek won. The king of Lasharon won. The king of Madon won. The king of Hazor won. The king of Shimron won. The king of Ashvath won. The king of Taanach won. The king of Megiddo won. The king of Kadesh won. The king of Jokneam at Carmel won. The king of Dor in Nephath-dor won. The king of Goyim at Gilgal won. And the king of Tirzah won. 31 kings in all. God bless you.